A reflection for Monday, August 10th, Feast of St. Lawrence, Deacon and Martyr. St. Paul tells us in the first reading from his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 9, whoever sows sparingly will also reap sparingly, and whoever sows bountifully will also reap bountifully. Then he adds something, even revealing. God loves a cheerful giver. Now, make no mistake, Paul is not simply talking about money here. Rather, he's speaking about the fundamental posture of a Christian life. As you know, we can give away our money. We can give away our property while still holding ourselves back. We can give reluctantly, calculating what we would lose. But Christian generosity begins when we recognize that everything we have is first a gift from God. As Paul says, God is able to make every grace abundance so that we may have what we need and still have something to give. This is a spirituality that becomes flesh in the life of St. Lawrence, whose feast we celebrate today. As a deacon of Rome, Lawrence had responsibility for the church's material goods and especially for the poor. When the authorities demanded that he surrender treasures of the church, he presented the poor and suffering, declaring by his actions that the church's greatest treasure is not gold, but people created and redeemed by God. Likewise, in today's gospel from John's Gospel, chapter 12, Jesus says, unless a grain of wheat falls into the earth and dies, it remains just a grain of wheat. Lawrence understood that principle very well. A seed cannot produce fruit while protecting itself from the soil. Something has to be surrendered before something greater emerges. Lawrence surrendered his possessions, his security, and finally his life, and his death became a seed of faith for the church. Friends, the life we spend for others is never really wasted. The love we give, the forgiveness we offer, the generosity we practice, the sacrifices we make for God's kingdom, these may disappear from our sight, but they do not disappear from God's hands. What are you afraid to give up? What part of your life are you protecting so carefully that it can no longer bear fruit? Remember, unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it cannot bear fruit. May God bless you.